University of Miami and Syracuse. Miami got out so well, so well. It was really good to see Miami get out so well. Really felt like they were going to be focused and dominate this game. But Syracuse is a very competitive team. And this was one of their more competitive games on defense, okay? It was an offensive battle, excuse me. 503 total yards for Miami, 479 for Syracuse. These guys were just going back and forth. I knew this was going to be a shootout. Cam Ward, 25 of 36, 349 yards, 2 tutties. Kyle McCord, 26 of 36, 380 yards, 3 tutties. I thought this was going to be somewhat of a Heisman game for Cam Ward, seal Miami's fate, get them into the ACC title game, move Miami up in the rankings. None of that happened. But you can't blame Cam Ward. I don't want to blame him, and I don't think we should blame him. I don't think that's fair, to be 1,000% honest. I think this Miami team is not stopping anybody, and they've been keeping themselves in games constantly, games that they shouldn't even be in. If your offense is somewhat functional, you can beat this Miami team because these DBs do not stop anybody. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, mind you, Syracuse has some really good receiver combinations with Pena and Gadsden. And a couple of the guys. I think Meeks was his name, the wide receiver, and then Allen at the running back position. Kyle McCord just slinging it back there, okay? I liken him to Jared Goff. So Syracuse does bring a lot of problems, but at the end of the day, you got to nullify that with good defense up front. Your defensive linemen got to wreak havoc. That's not happening. Then your DBs got to be able to make plays. That's not happening. Miami's DBs are getting beat soundly every single time. Doesn't matter if it's a 2-minute possession, doesn't matter if it's 5-minute possessions. Teams are having fun throwing the ball on Miami. It's tough to watch. Miami really could have locked up their fate here in the ACC and moving forward. They don't do that. Hard to watch. So now Clemson gets a chance to play in the ACC title game against SMU. Nobody expected it to be this way. I went back and forth with somebody in my comments on YouTube just the other day, and they were talking about how Miami is absolutely going to win the ACC title game. Now they're not playing in it. At least they'll still get into the playoff, I believe, and hopefully they'll have an opportunity to win a couple games and get as far as possible. But Miami's going to absolutely have to buckle up on defense and find a way to make some plays and get some stops because Cam Ward and that offense have no margin of error. He has to score on every single possession for this team to be successful, and you can't sustain that. That is absolutely ridiculous to have that kind of mindset that we have to score on every single possession. No, some possessions might not even be about scoring. Some possessions might need to really just be about keeping the ball for 9 minutes. Can we do that? Can we sustain a drive for 9 minutes? And then can we go on defense and stop them, get the ball back for our offense, and then do that again to keep them from... Sometimes it's not just about putting up points. Sometimes the game is about keep away. That's the difference between chess and checkers. And some teams aren't necessarily playing that game. Some teams aren't necessarily playing to win. They're just playing the game. And then you can see it with how sloppy they get and just how inconsistent their play is. Nobody can tell me right now that this Miami team is the same team that beat Florida. I think they gave Florida everything. That was their championship game. And since then, they've just been kind of just winging it on defense. Nothing really specific. Or people just have figured out that you can beat them deep if you beat them deep, and that is the weakness on their team. So, tough loss. I was actually proud of Cristobal for kicking that field goal, to be 1,000% honest with you, at first, because I was thinking, okay, cool, kick that field goal, you're going to get the ball back, and that'll give you a chance to win the game. But the truth is, their defense wasn't stopping anybody. So it was a bad decision. It was a bad decision because you got to think about your defense and how they're doing and factor that into your decision as to whether or not you're going to go for it and why you're going for it.